Good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing? Praise Jesus. And what another beautiful weekend. It is shaping up to be something nice. It sure is. Let me turn off that fan. That's a little loud, isn't it? Um, yeah, it was hot yesterday. I don't know what the temperature is out today. I haven't even gone outside yet. I didn't even want to go out there. But yesterday was super hot. And so today I just stayed in, but like now I feel good. It's almost like one of those days where like if I had like the day off, I would probably, you know, go to the beach or something like that. But now that I'm in, the last 10 years I lived up near Sacramento, so I'm like, in the middle of the state now, I'm not on the coast anymore. Is it 100 degrees again? Is it really? Oh, let me check. Let me check. I want to check now. 100 degrees. Oh, remember I said it was 100 degrees and it wasn't? I was like 30 degrees off or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's 100 out there. And it was like 7. Oh, it's 93 still out there right now. I don't know what it was yesterday. Hold on, weather for yesterday. Let me see here. Weather yesterday. Um, let's see. Yeah, it was just in the 90s, just like it was today, 90, low 90s. But it felt hot, man. Yesterday, it was like, whew. Yeah, I remember. I was like, yeah, I think it's 100 out there, and it was like 75 or something like that, 77, something crazy like that. And yeah, so hey guys, this morning, I mean, I don't know if you guys all know Dutch Sailor. I know a lot of us do, right? We've known him for a couple of years. He's a always been a decent guy since I've known him. I've never seen him really act out of turn with anybody, um, causing any kind of dissension between anybody. To be honest, like not even like righteously. And so I'll say this: we all sometimes could get a little excited about things we find out about, and sometimes we're down a wrong road or a new road or a scary road, and there's a lot of variables there. But I'll say this, like um, you know, while I probably like now like kind of regret like banning him in this, in the sense that I just don't like to ban anybody, but I would have had to have calmed him down for today anyway. He was like kind of erratic and saying a bunch of stuff that was like I couldn't really reconcile or back up any of those kind of claims, and it's distracting. So I unblocked him obviously, and so I'll probably have a talk with him about that unless we see him around. But if you see him around, just pray for him. He's not a bad guy, and I'll tell you what. Sometimes when I get deceived or when I find out something new that's like extreme, uh, you know, um, I don't know if I'd go public with it right away, but I know the feeling, right? I know the feeling of not being able to make any sense and that kind of stuff, right? So, um, yeah, absolutely. And like my love for everyone is the same. And there's even relationships that went wrong, and there's animosity. I I don't have any animosity. Like those things can all be reconciled, you know. And so forgive 70 times 7. And I know that if I do that, um, my part, that whatever needs to happen to protect me, God will take care of me. And so I'm okay with that. So it's right now, it's not about this being my life and I need to get this out of life or that out of life. This is just life, and we all share it. You know, it's one life, and we all are in it, and God's in the middle of it. And the only way it gets messed up is when we put ourselves in the middle of it, and we have these expectations of other people that they will do this or do that or be fair or whatever in our own minds, right? And when it doesn't happen, people get upset or whatever. And I've been upset plenty of times. And so the most important thing is Jesus. Thank you, Michael. And to dust off our spirits, right? And show up, right? And, sometimes it's good to face whatever it is that we got to face and get over it. Sometimes getting upset at each other, a bubble pops, and then it's a lot less tension. Who knows, right? And so, yeah, I'm just like super excited about. But see, here's the thing, right? A lot of things are happening. Can you guys still hear me? Because my thing stopped bumping. Now I'm kind of worried that you can't hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. And so, I think I'll keep going. I think that a lot of things, right? I've been like super, super busy, right? Like calls are back to back, and there are a couple of things to deal with here and there, little things to deal with here and there, and so like there's I'm kind of getting pulled in a bunch of directions, and it's kind of like I do have to do my share of tap dancing to, you can't make everyone happy. I mean, I'm never going to be able to do that. And I've given that up about a year ago. I learned all that stuff the hard way, right? You can't make everybody happy. And, I can't agree with everyone either. That's obvious, right? And so there's going to be, look, here's the thing, right? If we're going to talk about God, and God is the number one thing in my life and the most closest intimate relationship I have with anything, right? Then it's going to be contentious when something that I believe like is being, even if it sounds a tad different coming from somebody else. And so that's good though. That's in there to protect us. Like that's in there to say, hey, whoa, that's not how I heard it. Why did you hear it that way? Explain that to me. How did you get there? And I find a lot of times that like, well, I don't necessarily, well, I definitely like run into scenarios where I don't agree with somebody, but I see how they got to where they're at, and you're like, whoa, like, okay, I see what you did there, And sometimes even though you see what's wrong, a lot of times that you're not the one to be able to that they want you to fix it, And I just stay in my lane, man. Stay in my lane. I'm not asked to do a whole lot, This is a simple thing, man. Just be here so we could talk about God in a true way, not in a mainstream character way that how the world sees God, right, in the mainstream, but like the truth, right? The truth about just how gentle and how many chances he gives us and how forgiving he is and how much he wants us to make it. It's just amazing, he wants us to make it. And still only few will find the road, right? It's the only time, like, here's the thing, right? Inside, like, I'm full of peace. I'm full of joy sometimes to the point where I can't even contain myself, like just like giggly, And I don't like to tell people that I get giggly, right? Like, that's not my favorite thing to admit to, but it is what it is, right? And like I know what's going to happen to me. Like I'm fine, right? Like as soon as my job here is done, like if there's still some world left, then I'll change my name to Skippy and watch flat Earth videos all day, and I'll be just fine. But But right now, like the only time I really grieve, right, is I grieve for other people, you know. I the only time I feel any kind of pain, right, other than physical pain, like, you know, obviously, is is when somebody I love is off track, or somebody I really really want them to make it is not making it. And I want everybody to make it. Sometimes I want this, you know, God, make the standard so low that everyone can make it. Sometimes it's you know, help everyone be to reach whatever standard there is, right? And you know, what God asks us to do is not hard. It's just getting our hearts to that point where we can do that, right? And you know, it's just I get sad for other people, man. I want people to feel like I feel inside, like I'm excited. I'm excited about, like, you know, of course, every morning, right? I'm still here, and I'm like, oh, you know, I wish I was raptured yesterday or last week or last year, but like, you know, it's not like I could. I'm not, you know, I'm not uncomfortable. That's for sure. And you know, my life has been, you know, I don't know, pretty. I'm pretty blessed with. I made a couple of few right decisions in a row, or, you know, a few times, and really, the life hasn't asked me to do too much, right? Um, you know, there's a lot of pain involved with that, but like it is what it is, and I'm right where I'm at, right? And I don't have any complaints about it, and I'm not here to stack up treasures. So I'm grateful that all those things went away. I wish I knew the truth from birth. You know what I mean? Like from when I was born all the way till now, because all those times that I've spent worrying, right, in my like my mid 30s, right, where you know, how much time do we have left to live, and how healthy am I, and you know, how much stuff do I have, and what have I accomplished, you know, these things, right? Ugh, it's even cringy to even think about now, right? Like you know, always comparing yourself. Oh, am I as successful as my classmates? Am I as successful as my brother? Am I, you know, doing this right? You know, it's all competitive. The higher, you know, the career, the competition is even higher. There's more cheating, and people lying to each other, and people robbing each other, stealing from each other, and it becomes really ugly really fast, you know, almost to the point where I look back on working at Hamburger and warehouses and stuff like that, where I'm like, man, those are some good times, you know. I really like those guys, you know. Like those people were so nice, and we had so much fun, right? And then you look back on those good jobs where you get paid a lot of money, you're like, oh man, those people were grimy, you know, or whatever, right? Not that I'm even really like the type to even judge people even in that way, right? But it's like the fun times are the simpler times in the poor area at the job where you're not making any money. Because when you don't have a lot of money, um, you know, a lot depends on your personality. Like, you don't, like, in order to get things, you have to be nice. You know what I mean? And then you get around the the higher, and it's not always based on money. Sometimes it's just you know, you reach a morally depraved area, and it's just horrible. And you know, it's man, just the fact that life got like that, that it could even get like that. You know what I mean? And yeah, remember those good old days when you couldn't afford a cheeseburger? You had to get the hamburger, and you know, uh, yeah, split a fries with your friends. You know, Those were the good old days, you know. Or you go to the donut shop like right at the end of the night, you know, right before they start making the new donuts, and you know, you buy like, you know, you buy a dozen and get a free dozen of the whatever's left over there, and it's just amazing. My dad was the one that taught me, right? And maybe this was the first time I should have gotten the clue that like people are zombies, you know? Is that my dad said like, yeah, look at like, you know, at 12 noon and at, you know, 5 o'clock or whatever, all these restaurants are packed. You know what I mean? Like at the designated lunchtime, everyone is just packed into these restaurants, you know? But between like, you know, 2 and 4, right, there's nobody in there, you know? And so why not be hungry at 2 to 4? Like it would save you time. You know what I mean? Like, and I thought about that. I'm like, man, that is crazy, you know? Like why does everybody line up right at 12 o'clock? Like what's the deal with that? Like, you know, I'm hungry at 2, you know? And if you schedule your life around that way, you know, life is easier even. And so I'm glad I'm not a major majority type person, right? But like, it also hurts that anybody is like, you know, affected by that, you know. And we're all very blessed to be where we're at right now. Like to be at this spot right now, to be as awake as we are, like we are very blessed. I mean, I should be dead, to be honest. Like there's like I've lived through things that should have killed many people, you know? And you know, it's we're very blessed because this isn't I don't know how to take credit for any of that because how would I have even known to believe anything so absurd as to the way things are? I just never would have questioned that, you know. But just to see how crazy and influential TV is right now, they get everyone like on the same page, right? It's now that I see it working, it's obvious, right? But you know, before I thought that I didn't know what I thought, man. I just know that I used to think when I was a kid, right, that man, everybody's got everything all worked out and taken care of, you know, like things are under control, you know. We got scientists and doctors and politicians and other world leaders and military guys, right? And everything's going to be all good, you know. There's responsible people on the job, you know. But then once you know some of these people in some of these industries, right, you realize that like people don't know anything about what you do for a living, you know. And you're like, wow, is that the way people think it works? Like, because it's not like that at all, you know. And even as low as working like when I was working at a restaurant, you know, like just like, wow, if people knew how this place really was run, they would never come here, you know. Like nothing works like you think it does, and everyone's always bragging or one-upping things to where you don't know the truth about anything, you know. And I don't know, it's crazy. Hey, Kevin. um and so yeah, man, it's just a crazy deal. So what were we doing tonight? I forget, man. I forget what I had going on. I kind of fell asleep a couple times during the you know, between shows, and so I kind of woke up to a pile of text a couple times. I'm not really sure. I kind of like I remember texting with Bubba, and then I don't know, I got through some stuff, right? And then so I got to figure out were we gonna have Oso and I don't know. If you want, I can just do the show. It's cool. or I could drop a link or whatever. It's just I know that I do want to like at some point like I want to go through like okay, I'll drop a link. I'll drop a link. That's all you had to say. All right. That's a lot easier for me. All right, here we go. And and so what is Luke saying? After the scandemic, everything stopped saying open 24 hours. I used to miss going to Walmart at 2 a.m. After a closing shift or late. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. You can go shopping in the middle of the night, you know, when there's nobody in there. It's oh yeah, that's cool, Bubba. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. And let me click on here. Hello, so welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, Stephen. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I wanted you to elaborate on that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I've got stories.
You got a lot of stories?
Yes.
All right. All right.
Yes, is Bubba coming up? Is this going to be panels? Is that what's going on?
I think
Or
it's just
I don't.
you, I think it's just you and Bubba.
Oh, okay. All
Or I
right.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just
So
work here. I don't know. Go ahead.
well, I was telling I already told Bubba what was going on, but it tripped me out because remember what I was saying yesterday about
Bob.
my friend Bob who was
Right.
watching the Pamela Lee or Pamela Anderson and and Tommy Lee show and how I just was
Yeah.
like ready to dust the you know
Kick
why
the
brush
dust.
the dust off, kick the dust off, and I already planted my seeds, and I was pretty much done, right? So I did pray. I prayed, Lord, send in somebody else to water those seeds that I planted because he's getting sick of me and he's not going to want to hear it anymore. And I can't bring anybody, I can't save anyone. I can't bring this to fruition. I mean, it has to be God. And so anyhow, he texted me last night and he said, I got to tell you something. And so he said, I was in the bar last night. He goes, I know that you don't like that. And I'm like, whatever, I don't care. That's your life. Uh, I do care, but I don't, we all have free will. But anyhow, he said he was in the bar and some guy that he normally doesn't talk to came up and they started talking and he goes, and then I started talking to him about some of the things that you've been saying to me. And he said his mouth was like his jaw dropped and he said, quote unquote, Bob, he's like, you are sending shivers up my spine. He goes, the girl that you've been talking to is right. She's 100% right. And he was like, really? And so God did answer my prayer, sent somebody in to water the seeds. And he actually said, the guy told my friend Bob, he goes, you got to listen to
Bob.
her. Yeah, I know. Yeah, quote unquote, Bob. He goes, you've got to listen to her. What she's saying is real. Yes, something is coming. And see, it's funny because Bubba and I were talking, and we were talking about like something's going to happen in September, right? And so I
Yeah.
told quote unquote Bob that something was going to happen in September. Well, the guy before how the whole conversation started off is he goes, yeah, I think something's going to happen in September. And my friend was like, oh my goodness, that's what she said, that it was going to happen in September. So God was
Wow.
like giving him, confirmation that what I've been saying to him is not just something that is in a cartoon show that I'm making up. Like there's something going on in the world and he needs to wake up because there's really something happening. Now, we don't know if anything is going to truly happen in September. I mean, like all signs point to yes, that something's going to happen this fall. But we don't really know, but the fact is that we both said the same things and that guy said listen to her. So I was like, well, I was about ready to brush the dust off, but I guess God wants me to continue to
Oh, it's so great.
yeah, I guess he wants me
Wow.
to continue on witnessing to this guy. And so I'm going to, as long as, because he actually told me, I go, that is amazing because I have been praying fervently for you and also asking God to bring somebody else in to tell you that, to just confirm. And he did. He answered my prayers. And he goes, I go, and it was funny because I was about ready to just say, okay, God, you know, let somebody else do it. And he goes, well, to tell you the truth, he goes, I was about done listening to you. Isn't that
Oh,
interesting?
wow.
He was almost done listening to me until God sent this guy in to the bar.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. It
Yes,
couldn't have been more perfect.
it
And
couldn't have
then
been
it
more
connected
perfect.
those dots because you were saying the same dates and everything. And
Yes,
so
yes,
beautiful. All right,
yes. So,
let me welcome Bubba and Michael to the show real
okay,
quick. I'm gonna do it like
all right,
rapid fire, so it's two of you at once. All right.
yeah.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. How's it
Yeah,
going?
Rapid fire.
yeah. I love
Rapid
it.
fire.
That's a great story. I like that.
I know. It's like God is not done with him. And Bubba texted me and said, God's not done with him. And, just encouraging me to keep going, and it's like, thank you. I need that. I need to hear that as well, just some encouragement that yes, God is not done. Speaking to him and my prayers are being answered. Those prayers of faith, knowing that God is working in his life. And so
And that's what I was trying to point out. Like, you know what? He's sitting at a freaking bar of all places. And this
right.
guy's talking about stuff that's coming up in the future. And I said, it's almost like the Lord's using the seeds planted to even have a partial seed to even see the original seed. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and if it takes, somebody, and people are starting to ask now, what's this digital ID thing? Is this really what they're talking and what's coming up? And, so many people are going to have so many questions so very soon as they start hearing this stuff being propagated left and right as they get closer to everything coming to pass. So, yeah.
So true. And before, when I'm talking about the MOTB, the mark.
You can say it. You guys
Oh,
can say it now.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Go ahead.
When I'm talking about the mark of the beast, he's never even heard of this. What is this? So yes,
That's so
absolutely.
scary.
Yes,
That's so frightening. Like
it's
I was just
really
telling you
scary.
that people don't know that like about the mark, right? Like so
Mhm.
like they have no idea that it's even coming.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
frightening.
And it's coming very fast. It's coming
Yeah.
soon. Not to a
Mhm.
theater near you, to reality.
Actually, that movie is coming soon.
Right? The scariest movie ever.
See, and that's what I
Sheesh.
don't understand, right? So there's a lot of people that don't understand what the mark of the beast is or have any knowledge of it. Because the world, that's like the world's purpose. That's like Satan's purpose, right? To like deceive the entire world and to have people distracted and stuff like that. And it's like, how does that work for people that just, work their entire lives and try to survive and get by and are focused on like all these other things? And it's like, I don't know how that works. Is there
I
like
would think that there's like a series of events, right, that would lead you up to being unaware, right? There's like, Bible in every drawer of every hotel. There's all this access to getting to a Bible, right? Things
yeah,
like
but see,
that, right? It leads up to it's a
the thing,
culmination, right?
Well, look,
what I'm saying
Michael.
is many people know the testimony of Jesus Christ, right? Like, and what he did for the entire world, but they may not know about the mark of the beast. And it's like, if they don't know about the mark of the beast, but they truly believe in what Jesus did, then isn't there some mercy there? Like, isn't that the whole point?
Well, if if you have been born again, you're going to be reading your Bible, and you're going to know about the mark of the beast. I mean, if you've been born again, you have and look, I mean, yes, he's somebody who has been really super busy, had his family running, doing his thing, working really hard and not paying attention. But
Yeah,
look, God has me witnessing to him.
Yeah.
So in these last days, so everybody's getting witnessed to. Everybody is going to know, nobody will be without excuse. That's what
That's
God.
right.
Yeah.
And even one of my neighbors, not the one you and I were talking also, but even another neighbor I've been talking to, he's like, well, you know what? I'm going to do it because I got to do what I can do to support my wife and my family.
Oh man.
And
Oh.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it.
Oh.
well, nobody should have to do it if they're saved. So if they're saved,
No, and no
right,
one. Right.
No one that's saved is going to get the mark of the beast.
No.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, they'll be gone, right?
You just have to trust God that
Well,
He's got it under control. Everyone
in
will
order
get
to take
hear
this
the
too, and
gospel.
also we're talking about it, this is going to be a badge of honor because they're
Yeah.
going to have freedom back. They're going to have the old normal back in a way. They're going to be able to buy and sell anything they want in the new digital economy. I mean, this is how you'll be able to pay for your house, pay for your mortgage, even have a job. You will not have to be, you won't be able to have a job without this going forward. And in order to participate in the beast economy, you have to
Yeah,
participate in the beast system. Yeah.
right.
And not only that, but when I was telling Bubba, it is going to. Well, we were both talking about it. You're the one who said it first, Bubba, that it's going represents the third eye, and it's going to be part of the digital economy, connected to religion. It's
Yeah,
the new
worship.
religion. If you have this, today I was just looking at somebody with a bindi and, on their forehead. And I thought, which the bindi represents the third eye. And this is going to be like the new age. People will wear this on their forehead as
Yeah,
a badge of honor because it's like, I will ascend. Look at me. I'm part of this new age religion that is going to ascend. I'm wearing it proudly on my forehead. I
So
mean,
people will know what they're getting into.
well, they will think that they are ascending and that they're part of the new age.
This new global religion. Yeah. It's going to
Right.
be, I was just telling also too that they're in what is it? UAE this year. The Abrahamic House is opening up. The 3 buildings is opening up this fall, September, October timeframe again. And this is going to be the grand world headquarters of Chrislam. And their goal
do
is
they
to
got a
bring
date? They got a date yet?
No, they're keeping that hidden, of course, for future.
See, that's what I think,
I bet
bro.
I could find it, but yeah.
Like the Antichrist, he comes in without warning, so I think that's why they don't have a date set. Like, he's just gonna come in. They're just gonna
Ooh,
right
that's a
away.
good point.
Well, he's
Yeah,
actually going to come, and he's going to be the one with all the answers. I mean, he's going to, and everything is just basically being prepared like an airplane to take off a commercial flight. All they're waiting on is the captain to take control of the airplane and to begin the departure. I mean, they're basically setting it all up. All he has to do is walk into position, and, and he's going to have to come on the world scene, I believe, after the removal of millions of people, and say, listen, guys, I've got this all under control. We got this. And
It's
everyone's
just
going
so
to go, finally,
crazy how-
somebody gets it.
It's just so crazy how obviously it's all lining up. Like, I didn't think it would be this, like, you know what I mean? This clear cut, right? Like all these paths are opening up all at the same time. Like I thought it would be more sneakier, or they'd be trying to hide, or
Well,
it just is happening, you know?
and even right there, Luke Donnelly, he was talking about Elon Musk, talks about merging with machines.
Yes.
And I truly believe that will be part of this, because after the UN General Assembly, the 77th General Assembly in New York City, for 2 weeks from September 13th through the 27th, the very last day of Rosh Hashanah, Feast of Trumpets, they do their ceremonies and they do this agreement, this last 7-year agreement on that Monday, Tuesday time frame. And on the 30th is when Elon Musk, when he does that whole new the humanoid robot that he plans on unveiling with a soul. And you know what? That can lead to full-on worship all day long.
And Luke, yes, you are right, because when this thing goes on your hand or your forehead, it's also going to merge into your hand and forehead. And like Bubba was, like we were talking about, it does say that it goes on and in the forehead. And so what it does is the nanotech will actually go, it will be on the forehead, but it will also go into the forehead as the nanotech actually connects.
And our skin is our largest organ.
Yeah. And so it's going to grow and set up a network inside your skin.
They're going to promise, to the extent even of like Tony Stark, where he hits the button and the graphene oxide nanotechnology takes over his body and he's impenetrable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to just, people are going to, and it's not going to be one of these things, I don't believe, like that Paymore thing that's come out from England, where they're showing you got to make an appointment and they insert this chip into your hand there between your thumb and your first finger there and the part of your right there. And, you know how long I would take around the world to do this? I mean,
that would be a
they're going to do it through the
deception.
nano, that you'll even be able to apply
it
at
wrong
home.
if it took the vaccine to go around the world. Didn't take long.
Exactly.
Okay, wait, hold on. Hey, be careful with that kind of talk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, no worries. I did.
He's 100% right. Yeah, because the end result that last I heard is that they'll be able to, once this is officially officialized, they'll be able to send these out to every single address on the planet within 2 days. And you'll be able to self-administer this. This is how far they want to get it.
That's so crazy.
In order to hook everyone up to the digital system, because there's over, it's close to, I believe, still 2 billion people on the planet in India and China and Africa that has no digital ID. They don't even have bank accounts. They don't even have internet.
Wow. Well, I know this, right? And this was like a large number when I read it, and I almost didn't believe it, is that like 40% of the world doesn't even have a toilet with running water. Like, to me, that's insane. So, I mean, like the idea of like no bank accounts, right? Is like that is a reality for a lot of the world. And it's just so insane,
They're
right?
going to push this as well for the peace and security. You know, the Bible says peace and safety, but the New World Order, World Economic Forum, their words, keywording is peace and security. Peace and security.
Same thing.
So,
yep, same thing.
Hey,
sudden destruction is all I can think about after that.
I know it.
Yeah.
It's
when did they when did they put out like the peace and security? Like when did that come out like worldwide?
Oh, that's
it's been spread around Obama. It's been spread around Abbas in the Middle East. I mean, yeah, it's being spoken, like you're saying, more and more. Yeah.
But they've been saying it since like I think Bush was.
It started, I believe, with the New World Order, right?
Right, yeah.
Like when it talks about birth pains, you think about like how a woman carries a child for like 9 months.
That's right.
I wonder.
That's
I wonder
where
if
we're
that
at
has
now.
anything to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah. And yeah, and take it for what it is. But the more I look at this, the more I'm looking at this Feast of Trumpets as a very strong possibility of beginning the 7-year tribulation. And I personally believe, since it's a 7-year, and Daniel 9:27, not a 3.5, 2-year, 27-year. I mean, it would fit perfect. The next exact Shemitah cycle that ends on the Feast of Trumpets begins this
I really
September.
think I really think that that is it. Like
Otherwise,
mean,
I personally believe we'll have to wait another 7 years, and I can't see that. And this is like I was telling Aso or Jake today, I forget, or I don't know, but like we're
somebody.
completing 70 full cycles of 10, 7 cycles of 10, or 10 cycles of 7-year Shemitah cycles, 70 since 1952 and 2022 this fall. And the next one, number 11 of 7 years, means judgment. And the next one, number 12, going into the millennial kingdom, means rebirth, renew. I mean, that's exactly what it just, to me, it's like it's all literally coming together. No one knows the exact day nor hour, but it's coming. I mean,
Yeah.
It is coming. I'm so happy too. I get giggly too when I think about it, right? If I have to, I mean, I don't care what I have to go through for that date to hurry up and be here. I just want all the
yeah,
pain
and
for the whole world to stop.
yeah. Yeah.
I just
Time to
want.
start spreading the good news.
That's
everyone.
it. That's it.
Spread it.
That's what
far and wide.
that's what our job is. Is just to spread the good news and talk about God like in a truthful way, right? Not this image that the mainstream has of him, right? A true way to talk about him and to speak about him, like lift his name up high, right? And I think that if we do that I think that's going to save a lot of people. A lot of people will once they hear the truth, right, about God, they'll go to him. I know that.
Well, I told my friend, I was like, I understand it's hard to hear because, I mean, like I said, he was not even awake enough, like at all before I started talking about some of this stuff. Not at all, not one bit. And I go, I understand it's hard to hear. He goes, well, it's scary. And I go, yeah, I get it. I got a lot of bad news, but guess what? I've got the best news ever too.
Exactly.
The best news. So it's okay. That's why I can walk around with a smile on my face, knowing that, and feeling this real true peace and being okay with what's coming. It's okay with me because, I know that I have salvation in Jesus and that's the only way. And so hurry, September's only 2 months away. No.
That's right. Hey, hurry today. Get there today.
Right. Exactly.
And clean out your heart, and feel free. The truth will set you free. It's such a true statement, right? It's like if you accept the more of reality that you accept, the better you'll feel. Because it is a good story. Overall, the big picture is a good story, right? It's like the ultimate heroic love story, right? God comes down and faces his own wrath to reconcile us back to him. I mean, what a tale that is, right?
Yeah,
like, and
exactly. Like my wrath, like the wrath that was supposed to be against me, he took it for himself.
That's right.
And that's amazing. Like amazing. Nothing better than that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And here's here's the one part of the story that I was telling at the beginning with my friend. The thing is, he goes, but you know what? He goes, it is okay because so-and-so who was at the bar telling him to listen to me also said that I was okay. I told, he said, do you believe in Jesus? And so he goes, yep. And he goes, okay, you're good to go. And I was like,
wow.
you know, I'm thinking to myself, oh no. I go, but you
To
know what?
start.
You know, what could I, that's the kind of
There's
thing.
nothing. I mean, all we can do is like plant a seed, and then somebody comes along and waters, and then God gives the increase. So we're
Right.
not really fully in control over anyone, you know. So like He does the work in them and gets their heart prepared, so their heart can come to Him. It's all
Yeah.
about the heart. Like it has nothing to do with anything else but the heart. That's
Right.
it.
So his heart's not there yet. He just went along, said the sinner's prayer, and he thinks he's good and saved now. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I used to say sinner's prayer. I mean, I think we all have, you know, at least once. And you know, that's why he does the work. He gets us there. You know,
mhm.
I
Yeah,
used I used to do that. Like I'm guilty.
well, you know, I go, it's more than that. It's more than just a profession or just saying something. It's more than a decision. It's just looking deep inside at your heart, and you know, just like not wanting to be, you know, not not wanting your life. I told him about the verse that, you know, Jesus says, you know, those who love their life will lose it. Well, and those who hate their life will lose it in this world. Meaning, it's, you know, if you love life, if you love the pride of life, then you're connected to this world, then you're going to lose your life in eternity. But if you hate the, you know, and not meaning like, oh, life sucks, meaning you don't want to live life like you used to. You want to live for Jesus now.
Yeah,
You want to pick up your cross and follow Jesus.
right.
Then that is, you know, different. You're not going to want to go to the bar because he's going to take that out of you. You're not going to even want to go because he's going to change your life in a way that, you know, you don't even want to do those things. That's what he did for me. And then also I met another friend today, and he goes, you mean to tell me, he goes, not everybody's like you know, like some people need something, some like drug or alcohol to get through life because life is hard and they need it. And I was like, what do you think? I'm different than anybody? I'm not different than anybody. I also needed stuff to get through life to make it easier. But God is the one who does the work. God's the one who took that desire out of me. It wasn't me. I didn't do that. You know, yes, I did want to quit and I didn't know how, but God is the one who did it for me. So I'm not special. I'm not different. You know, I just trusted in God. I just trusted in Jesus. And so he's like, oh, okay, I guess I can see that. I'm like, I'm not different than anybody else.
And I love
Anybody can be saved.
Yeah,
and I love Michael's questions because you know what? When I read a lot of his questions, it did challenges me to dig deeper. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I
Dude,
think.
ask away, man. You're good stuff.
Well, I like to think about like you know, just like all the times that uh you know, I was thinking in the world, right? Oh, I'm fine. I'll be all right. I can handle it. I'm in control, right? You know, and then you know, the more you learn, right? The more you know, like I'm not in control of nothing, man. like I never was, right? Never even was in control of myself, right? And you know, without the grace, right? Without him, you can't make it, right? But like I didn't like realize that there's a saying, right? That God is all you need, right? But you don't realize that until God is all you have left, right? And that's what it took for me, right? I mean, I had to be broken to that level, you know. Some of us are hardcores, right? I had to be broken, like smashed, and then it was you know, so there was no doubt at that point, you know, like, okay, well, I couldn't fix my life before. So it is God. But even if you don't let yourself get to that level before you get saved, that realization that God is the one doing all the work is such an amazing, like, it's an
Yeah.
amazing feeling, because it's like he picked you up right where you were at. You know?
Right.
Mhm.
Because if we did all the work, then there's no way we can give him his glory. Like he, you know what I'm saying? Like he does it all, and that's what I really believe in. But now, you know, like I think he's just waiting, man. Like he's just waiting for me to be ready to put away my own desires and you know, put away
Dude, that is
myself.
so hard. Oh,
It is.
oh.
Yeah, I couldn't change myself. I tried and tried and tried to change myself. I could not do it.
It's almost like the harder we try, the worse it then becomes like a religion or an act, or it's like it's not even genuine or something. It's like I'm trying to show.
Like a daily, you
No,
know,
no, that's a tough. No, that's a tough one. Shoot, I mean, he's 100% right, because you know even Paul said the things I don't want to do, I end up doing. The things I
Yeah.
really need to do, I end up not doing.
Mhm.
Yep, that's right. So true, man.
I mean, we're all fallen. We've all got sin natures, and we're going to continue to screw up until we're called home, or until the day where we can't sin anymore and we're in the grave. I mean, you know, one or the other. I mean,
Oh, Baba, you know we're gonna see the end.
I know, I know, I know.
You
How
know it.
crazy, seriously, how crazy will this be when we are the generation that does not taste death? I'm not saying that all of us here tonight, even hearing my voice, or me included, will not
so all
taste
those
death.
people in
But you
school,
know
they
what I
told me.
mean? We are that generation.
So all those people, like all those teachers that told me that death and taxes, I had to do those, and like I'm not gonna have to die.
Right. There's only,
They were
yeah,
wrong.
death and taxes, yeah.
Hmm. Like I don't know what all this death was you were talking about, but I don't, you know.
Man, I
Yes.
swear the older you get, the less you want to die. You know, we used to be
Right,
miserable when we was younger. Now we're like, no, I just want to get home safe in one piece.
right. I used to think I was indestructible, you know, take on the
Right.
most risk, you know.
Well, yeah. Now look at like people like David Rockefeller. They really don't want to die. That's why they're coming up with all this technology.
Oh,
They do not
I
want
mean,
to die.
it's crazy, right? Can you imagine if some of these, like, if this were allowed to continue even another 100 years, right? Can you imagine, like, you have these buzzards walking around all half robotic, and oh man, it'll be just insanity, right? Oh, you know, God was being merciful when He gave us a time limit, you know, like,
Oh yeah,
you
for
know.
sure.
Now I'm
Yes.
sure Adam looked good at 100, but I mean, not all of us, you know.
think about those buzzards and everything of the air that are called to at the end of
Yeah.
the tribulation to come and
Mhm.
feast on all the death of these bodies as we get
Right.
Oh
Feast
wow.
of the Kings. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those are gonna be some full birds, man.
Where the corpse is, the birds are, or something like that. Yes. Isn't that the verse?
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
I
Revelation.
was gonna bring that up before you even brought it up. So what does that exactly mean? Eating the flesh, the birds eating the flesh and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got my thing popped open to 2 Thessalonians 2. If I can get to.
Oh, is that where it is?
No. That's where my thing was. But yeah, it's
Oh.
Revelation 18 or 19 at the bottom where, yeah, you know, come and feast, you flying things, creatures, vultures above, because the angels are being sent out to gather up those who've taken the mark to be thrown up into the, you know, I mean, it's the great gathering. You know, one shall be taken, the other left. You know, the famous phrase in Matthew 24, this is at the end of the 7 years when the angels come up to clean up house and to get rid of all those left behind that have taken the mark who haven't died yet. And
Yeah.
gather them all up. Yeah.
Yikes.
I know it.
Yikes.
I think about how easily that's me laying there, you know.
Oh yeah. Hold on, let me get my other phone. You guys keep going. I'll find it.
Hey, so Michael, what the Hebrews chapter 8 through 10, right? What was the
Yeah.
main thing, the main point you got from that? Like the main takeaway?
I'd really not like to talk about that here
Okay.
because people are
Okay.
going to come and try to take me from that understanding, and
We'll talk about it
I don't
then.
want to mess
Okay.
with it.
That's fine.
But I would say for everyone to read Hebrews chapter 8 through 10 and really read it and get an understanding of that.
All right.
Okay.
Good tip. Good tip. Read your Bibles, people.
Hebrews
I found
8,
it.
8
Oh
through
no.
10.
8
Okay.
through
Yeah.
10.
All right.
I found the beast thing, the doom of the beast and the false prophet, Revelation 19, verses 20 and 21. And the beast, that's the Antichrist, was seized, and with him the prophet who performed the signs in his presence, by which he deceived those who had received the mark of the beast, and those who worshipped his image. Those two were thrown alive into the lake of fire, which burns with brimstone. Verse 21, and the rest were killed with the sword which came from the mouth of him who sat on the horse. Who sat on the horse? We got to read back up, but it's Jesus coming down with us regally and royally on the white horses. And all the birds were filled with their flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean?
These are the birds of the earth at the end of the 7-year tribulation, when Jesus puts an end to all the battles and they come against Jerusalem for the very last battle, and they surround Jerusalem, all the countries of the world, to destroy all that is left of Jerusalem. And that's when, this is after the judgments, and this is when we come down in verse 11, the second coming of Jesus, to here to set up his earthly kingdom again for the 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ. And
So
I saw heaven open, and
that's
behold, a
gonna
white
be here.
horse. I'm
That's
sorry.
gonna be here.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What? What? What?
What
What do you say?
happened?
Can you hear me? I said that's
Yeah.
gonna be here on this earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. The buzzards are gonna clean up the dead bodies.
The buzzards are gonna, like if something dies, roadkill. You see buzzards and stuff come up and clean it up, or
It's
and
literal.
Okay, so he's
Birds.
creating the new earth here, right?
Well, this is before that. This is way before that.
what was the question?
He said that they're building the new earth here. That's his question.
Oh,
This is way before that.
well, yeah, because keep in mind the earth goes through many changes, even Revelation 6 verses 12 to 14, when it talks about the rocks falling on them, and every mountain is moved out of its place, every island is moved out of its place. To me, that sounds like a total crustal displacement. And throughout the Bible, you see where the great fiery thing comes down like a mountain, or asteroids, or wormwood, or this and that, and the trees are burned up, and this and that. The earth the whole time is going through an entire change. And I truly believe that we're going back to the Garden of Eden conditions in the 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ. And even when it talks about a new heaven and a new earth, when you read the Greek into that, it says it's going to be a remodeling job, a rebuilt. It's going to be like a renewed. And that's exactly what everything, including a total crustal displacement. And then one of the final judgments in Revelation 18 is where an earthquake comes that is so great that it splits Jerusalem in 3 parts. Every city on the planet crumbles to the ground, every single building. There are 0 mountains left. There are 0 islands left. This is how great that remodeling job is going to be. And we haven't even gotten to the final version for the 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ. They've got to fix that up and make it beautiful.
So that when you say that, I mean, that totally, what verse is that, Bubba? What? Where?
this is I'm reading Revelation 19 where it
Okay.
starts off at the top. You know, there's praise and worship throughout. It talks about the marriage of the Lamb, you know, because the marriage of the Lamb has come and his bride, the church, has prepared herself. It was given to her to clothe herself in white fine linen, bright and clean, for the fine linen is the righteous act of the saints. What saints? The church age saints, because that's another one. Yeah, there's Old Testament saints, church age saints, New Testament saints, and, you know, tribulation saints. But yeah, we're coming back with Jesus regally and royally on the horses.
Right,
And
but
Yeah.
where?
he
Tell me.
puts a stop to the final war when they come against all nations, come against Israel and Jerusalem to destroy it.
Because see, when you're talking about the mountains being removed into the sea, that just reminds me of Psalm 46, and I know that corresponds with that. Um, though the waters roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof, there is a river, streams where, and it just goes on that, you know, that there, you know, therefore we will not fear, although the earth is removed. It's going to be removed. This is prophecy. Psalm 46 is prophecy, I believe. And it and it compares with Ezekiel. I believe it compares with Ezekiel 22 as well. But yeah, the earth is going to be removed. The earth is going there. I agree with you 100% that that's what's going to be happening. There is going to be no mountains will go into the sea. We'll see that.
And the Revelation 16:19 is the great city Jerusalem was split into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. Every single city on the planet will fall. And it talks about every island, verse 20, fled, and no mountains were found. And this is where verse 21, the huge hailstones weighing 100 pounds each.
Oh, Revelation 21.
This is Revelation 16.
16.
Yeah, 20 and 21. And that's
Okay.
What I'm trying to point out is, look at all these earth changes that are happening over and over and over.
Right. I'm going to mark that.
Because the first time God judged the earth and changed the entire earth with water with the flood. This next time he's going to come by and change the entire earth by fire.
Yeah, it's going to burn. It's just going to burn. I mean, burn it down. It's been completely tainted.
Just think about that. We live in the leftover version of after the worldwide flood. And even though in all the beauty we see, can you even imagine what it was like before the flood?
Probably gorgeous, right? Probably gorgeous, And see, I believe that there was like technology beforehand, like they had, because look at all the structures that they were able to build that are just so beautiful, it's impossible to build today. And they're trying to say that they built them before a diesel engine, before manufacturing glass was, they were able to manufacture glass at a rapid pace, like everything was done by hand, right? Like that's crazy, all these temples and you know what I mean? It's like crazy.
Now, what's the fake wonder that the Antichrist does, where he brings down fire?
All signs and wonders.
Yeah, and who does the majority? Who really does it? It's the false prophet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the false prophet is the one who causeth everyone to receive the mark, not the Antichrist.
Yeah, I agree.
No, it's crazy. I was like, oh wow, that's not even him. It's like the religious leader supports the political leader, and the political leader supports the religious leader. So it's like they work hand in hand. It's like,
yeah.
So the political leader is the one with the military. The man, yeah.
Yeah, the military, the leader of the 10 heads, 10 and 7, out of that, and the coming where he dies and comes back to life, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the
Alrighty,
dragon
guys.
himself indwells him.
It's time to hit that old dusty trail. I'm exhausted, guys. I am so exhausted. I'm so
We've been telling you
exhausted.
for 20 weeks now to get some
No,
real sleep.
you guys are amazing. Everybody is amazing. Look, from top to bottom, back to front, everybody is amazing. And it's just sometimes, like little things, right? Like people getting mad at you over little tiny stuff, and people, like you get blamed for everything. Anybody that has some kind of thing, on your panel, oh, you agree with those people? I saw that guy in your chat. You agree with them, and it's
Oh, yeah.
like come on, man, it's not a bad thing, right? I enjoy every bit of it, but it's like those are the parts that I'm not like a fan of, right? But like as far as everyone's concerned, I'm glad that I found you guys. If I didn't get to find you guys, like I would be going crazy right now. Who would I talk to about this stuff? I mean, who out there is even interested in reality, right? Like nobody, even good people, right? Like you're like, people I would say are good on earth standards, right? Like, okay, like let's talk about God and how the fact that he's coming, and there's zombies, man. There's zombies, man. And it's like there's not many of us, that see things that are obvious, but people don't see it,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird,
Yeah.
but I'm
I
grateful
think
for you
it's
guys.
yeah, because we've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Probably that might
Yeah,
be part
maybe.
of it.
I really do believe in the scales over the eyes and all that, because there's things that I know that like, how could you not see it? How could you not think that the stock market is corrupt? Like, how do you not think that? Like what makes you think anything is fair? Right? Like those things like that I never thought of before, right? Like I used to think, oh yeah, you follow the trends, and people are in charge watching it. Yeah, but it's rigged at some level, obviously. That goes without saying, right? Like there's people in charge of it, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
and it's like without you guys, I don't know who I would talk to about this stuff, because this is all I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about other stuff.
Yeah, me
I don't want to talk
too.
about the football game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or Pamela
exactly.
Anderson,
Pamela Anderson. Yeah, I don't
Tommy
want to talk
Lee.
about the Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee boat show or whatever they
I
got going on.
know.
Like that's nothing. That's not interesting to me at all.
No, not in the slightest. No.
And so,
Yeah.
you guys are so amazing, and I'm glad that you guys are all getting connected to each other, and we've come a long way in this last year.
Oh, yeah.
Come a long way, man.
Cool.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Michael, I'll get with you about that Hebrew stuff after the
Yeah,
show.
cool.
And yes,
I'll read it. Thank you, Michael.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
outstanding. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory to God because he deserves it.
Amen.
And please pray for the children. Please pray for anyone being victimized out there. Pray for each other. It's important. And I will, Lord willing, I'll be able to see you guys tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. California time.